Regarding the satanic ritual that didn't happen, Israel told investigators that if it weren't for the rape and ultimately the act of murder, that he never would have indulged in the idea of committing a bloodletting ritualistic type murder in the name of Satan to begin with. He explains that the main reason he considered the sacrifice to the devil was because of the element of rape and murder, which he already wanted to do anyway.
Yeah, I was convinced that I had it all figured out at the time. I was into a lot of weird stuff back then. I thought I was a Satanist and stuff, and had a lot different philosophy than I do now. So
when you were 18?
Yeah, I was just into that whole Satanist symbolism type stuff, and I thought that was the reason I was doing it. And then over the next few years, I realized that I didn't really even believe in that stuff. I just, at the time, I was just using that as justification or a reason or something. That wasn't really the reason I wanted to do it. It was just because I wanted to do it. And then, so once I kind of came to terms with that there wasn't a higher power, if you will, that I was going to do it for. It was just something I wanted to do. That made it a lot easier.
So you weren't doing it for the devil or Satan or...
That's what but at the time, that stuff meant a lot to me, or I thought it did.
Basically, his interest in Satanism was very secondary. It was not a driving force in the crimes that he committed. It's unclear which books he was reading, but he admitted to heavily delving into Satanism, so it's likely he, at the very least, read the Satanic Bible. The first reason is that the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey is by far the most popular book on the subject of Satanism and has sold over 1 million copies with 30 different printings. The second reason is that LaVey's Satanism is not actually about Satan, who is a character used to represent the self. LaVey's Satanism is about hedonism and making oneself one's own god. Israel seemed to embrace this after his initial delve into actual devil worship. He told investigators that as an atheist, he can't believe in the devil because it's contradictory to his atheism.
At the time, I was going from, like I say, a really religious upbringing to becoming an atheist. Once you become an atheist, you can't really be a Satanist. So, kind of a progression of thinking, logical thought, I guess.
Israel said that he realized it was all fake and that he could just do essentially whatever he wanted. Israel continued to work on the Maupin house through summer and into fall. He said that he was extremely paranoid about the girl that he had raped and was scared that she would go to the authorities, and that he was constantly checking the local newspapers to see if there were any stories about it. He said he regretted not killing her because it ate away at his nerves, and that every day at work, from the vantage point of the house that was on the hill, he could see the place where he had raped this girl, and that it was too close to home for him and made him incredibly nervous about getting caught. He feared that at any moment he might be arrested, but then the end of summer came and went and nothing happened.
For years after that, for like 2 years after that, I kept telling myself I should have killed her, and really beat myself up about that I got.
And so that's
why I chickened out and kind of felt like I screwed up.
So you didn't make that mistake again?
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, not on that level.
After a long summer of working in Maupin, the house was finally finished, and the Keyes family celebrated by putting it up for sale. In October, they moved to New York and bought a small farmhouse on 10 acres of land close to the border of Canada. John signed the deed to the house at 511 Poplar Street in Constable, New York, over to Israel for $1. He likely did this because he was quite ill and wanted the deed in his eldest son's name. While at the house, Israel worked to get his GED with the goal of joining the US Army. He said that before enlisting, he would go to Montreal and visit strip clubs.
But you visited Montreal a lot when you were in upstate New York. Is that just because it was the closest big city, or?
Yeah.
I mean, anything special attractions, Montreal or Canada, or?
Oh, I like Canada. It's predictable.
He also said that he almost got into some pretty bad situations up there after visiting prostitutes in bad neighborhoods.
I was out looking for trouble, but I didn't get into it. Didn't get caught.
What kind of trouble would you get away with in Montreal?
Oh, there were a few strip clubs that I would go to, and just, like bad parts of town up there and stuff. I mean, you can find a lot of trouble in Montreal if you look in the right places. And I was, I don't even think I was 20 at the time, and, I almost got in some bad situations up there. It kind of freaked me out, and
With prostitutes or with?
yeah, just, like typical being in the bad part of town, bad hotels kind of thing,
Like, because you didn't look like you fit in them, you became a target, or what made you?
Well, just because I was young, and I had a gun with me, so I thought that made me invincible, but then I realized, like, Canada, that's actually a bad thing. If you show a gun, then all of a sudden everybody, it's not nearly it's a lot bigger deal than if you show a gun down here.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I didn't take a gun to Canada anymore.
Did you go there with the intention of doing something?
I went there with the intention of getting in trouble. I wasn't. It's not like I had anywhere staked out. I wasn't gonna. I was mostly there looking for prostitutes and stuff.
With the idea of killing anybody, or just
No.
having sex with them?
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, I had stuff with me, but I don't think I would have done anything. It was just like, I don't think I would have.
What kind of stuff?
Just my stuff, like knives and